In the shimmering, high-velocity world of daytime television, Kelly/Ripa has long been a constant, an effervescent fountain of energy, sharp wit, and relatable charm. For over 2 decades, viewers have invited her into their homes, sharing in her morning coffee, her hilarious anecdotes about family life, and that infectious laughter that feels like sunshine beaming through the screen. Her persona is one of invincible optimism, a woman who seems to glide through life with grace and grit. But what happens when the bright studio lights dim? When a reality far more profound and painful than any broadcast storyline crashes in? The news, when it came, was a private sorrow, a loss deeply felt, a health scare within the inner circle, a foundational grief. And in that moment of emotional shock, the true architecture of Kelly/Ripa's life was revealed. Not in her solo strength, though she has plenty, but in the steadfast, unwavering presence of the man beside her, her husband, Mark Consuelos. This isn't just a story about a singular sad event. To reduce it to a headline would be to miss the point entirely. Instead, this is an exploration of the partnership that has quietly, consistently prepared them both for life's inevitable hardships. It's a love story that has matured into a sanctuary, a testament to the fact that even the most glamorous lives are still lived in the vulnerable, beating heart of the human experience. This is how a bond becomes unbreakable. The foundation, a love story built on more than sparks. To understand the depth of the support, you have to understand the bond. Kelly&Mark's origin story is the stuff of Hollywood legend. A young, dynamic actress meets a devastatingly handsome newcomer on the set of All My Children in 1995. The chemistry wasn't just instant, it was volcanic. But what followed is the real magic. Theirs wasn't a fleeting, flash-in-the-pan romance. It was a swift, certain commitment, a Las Vegas elopement in 1996 that surprised the world, but clearly not them. In an industry where relationships are often measured in months, theirs has spanned decades. That longevity is your first clue. This marriage isn't a fragile facade for the cameras. It's a deeply built institution, brick by brick, year by year. They haven't just lived together, they've built together. They're co-hosts on Live, co-CEOs of their family, and partners in their production company, Milojo. They are business partners, parenting partners, and life partners. This intertwining, this conscious choosing of us in every arena, creates a resilience that a more independent, parallel existence might not. They've faced the intense pressure of public scrutiny, the delicate dance of balancing 2 demanding careers, and the exhausting, joyful chaos of raising 3 children. Every challenge navigated side by side became another thread in a stronger, more reliable safety net. When Ripa speaks of their marriage, she doesn't use words like perfect or easy. She uses words like partnership and team. It's a unity of purpose. This is a couple that has practiced relying on each other long before a crisis ever demanded it. They built their shelter in the sunshine so it would be ready for the rain. The news, when the world goes quiet. The nature of the sad news is, rightly, left in the private realm, as it should be. For any of us, it could be the passing of a beloved parent, a loss that shifts the very ground beneath our feet. For Kelly, who shared an exceptionally close bond with her mother, Esther, such a loss would resonate in the deepest chambers of her heart. It could be a serious illness confronting a close friend or sibling, a shock that brings mortality into sharp, terrifying focus. Or perhaps a personal health scare, a sudden, stark reminder of our own fragility. The specific context matters less than the universal human truth it underscores. Grief, when it arrives, is a great leveler. For a public figure like Kelly, this dynamic is uniquely complex. The emotional shock isn't just a private tremor, it's an event felt on a public fault line. There's the initial searing pain, pure and personal, but almost simultaneously there's the awareness of the narrative about to be written by the outside world. The headlines, the speculation, the well-meaning but overwhelming tide of public concern. In this space, the instinct might be to perform strength, to put on a brave face and quickly reassure the audience that depends on her daily buoyancy. Yet true grief isn't performative. It's messy, quiet, and it demands retreat. It asks for a space where you don't have to be on. This is exactly where Mark Consuelos shifts from being a supportive partner to becoming an essential anchor. He becomes the mediator between her private pain and her public life. He's the one who can quietly field the calls, manage the logistics of postponed commitments, and stand as a gentle, firm buffer against the world's demanding gaze. His very presence sends a silent, powerful message. She is not alone. Her first duty is not to you, but to her own heart, and I am here to ensure she can tend to it. The anchor, the anatomy of support in real time. So, what does this supportive presence actually look like day to day, moment to moment? It's both profoundly simple and incredibly practical, a masterclass in silent spousal strength. The physical fortress. Consuelos is famously instinctively protective. Paparazzi shots or red carpet appearances during difficult times often show him with a guiding hand on the small of her back, his body subtly positioned between her and the camera's intrusion. It's a stance that's both chivalrous and deeply pragmatic. He is literally helping her bear the weight. In moments of public appearance, his eyes are often on her, reading her micro-cues, a slight tremor, a fleeting look of overwhelm, ready to step in if a question becomes too much. This physical solidarity is a non-verbal communication to both Kelly and the world. We are a unit. Your access to her goes through my care for her. The emotional translator. Kelly&Ripa is one of the most eloquent people on television, but grief can strip away language, leaving behind only a hollow ache or a storm of feelings with no names. Mark, having known her for nearly 30 years, can speak the unspoken. He can interpret a look of exhaustion, a moment where the world is just too loud. He can say to others, "She needs a minute," without her having to expend the precious energy to ask. This deep familiarity allows him to create pockets of quiet in the storm. He's the one who can sit with her in silence, a skill far more valuable than any platitude. He doesn't need to fix the unfixable. His role is to witness, to validate, and to simply be there, making the unbearable feel a slightly more shared. The keeper of normalcy. When crisis hits, the mundane machinery of life grinds to a halt. And yet, meals still need to be made. The dog needs to be walked, emails pile up, children, even grown ones, need a sense of continuity. Mark becomes the chief operations officer of normalcy. He ensures the practicalities of life don't become additional burdens on her grieving heart. This is love in action, doing the dishes, handling the schedule, holding the fort. It's unglamorous, critical work that allows Kelly the sacred space to simply be, to process, to weep, to remember, without the added anxiety of a disintegrating daily life. The bridge back to herself. Perhaps this is the most profound role. Mark Consuelos knows Kelly&Ripa, the real woman, not the TV persona. In the thick of grief, you can become unrecognizable to yourself. The joyful, quick-witted host can feel like a distant memory, a character played by someone else. Mark, as the keeper of their shared history, serves as a living memory and a bridge. Through his eyes that have seen her through every season of life, she can glimpse the woman she was and will be again. A private joke only they understand, a gentle tease that sparks a real, if tired, smile, a remembered story from their early days. These small, intimate moments are lifelines he can offer. They are reminders that her core identity, their beautiful, messy history, remains intact beneath the temporary shroud of sorrow. The public gaze, performing versus processing. Imagine their return to the live stage after a period of absence. It would be a highly charged, deeply human moment. The audience, full of empathy, would be watching for signs of the pain, hoping for her healing. And in that very public space, their private dynamic would play out on a micro scale. You might see Kelly, perhaps a little quieter, her famous spark tempered by a new gravity. And you would see Mark not hovering but hyper-attentive. He might pick up a conversational thread if she momentarily loses her train of thought. His hand might find hers under the desk for a fleeting, grounding squeeze. He would allow a tender pause to sit in the air without the instinct to immediately fill it with humor. In doing so, he creates a safe container for her on the very set that is her professional domain. This public demonstration of spousal support is incredibly powerful. It normalizes the fact that even the strongest, most vibrant among us need to lean, and that leaning is not a weakness, it's an act of supreme trust in the strength of the bond. It also subtly redefines their on-air chemistry, often played for laughs and flirtation. In these moments, it reveals its deeper foundation, a profound, unwavering respect. He's not just her hot husband for a segment bit, he is her witness, her champion, her safe harbor live.